Fox News alert, Customs and Border Protection releasing November numbers in a Friday night dump before Christmas, showing a record-breaking 233,000 encounters, the highest November on record. Nearly 67,000 of those encounters were processed for deportation under Title 42, leaving officials on edge for the impacts when the policy expires. Here to react, former acting ICE Director Tom Homan. Tom, Merry Christmas. What do you make of this Friday night dump? Why do they wait until the Friday night heading into Christmas to release these unprecedented November numbers?
Well, it's obvious. Look, as you know, they always dump the numbers on like a Friday night. And but this time, I really think the reason they waited so long to dump the numbers is because of the omnibus bill. They did not want the numbers released before the Congress voted on omnibus. Well, it proved it wasn't really effective anyways because too many Republicans actually voted for the omnibus. But I think that was one of the reasons, because if these numbers would have come out, maybe a few more congressmen or senators would have stepped up and said, look, we can no longer take these numbers. This is another record-breaking month. We need to do something about border security. But, you know, we all know how it turned out. The omnibus came out with zero money for border security, so that was disappointing. But the Border Patrol is hiding the numbers.
That's an important part, though, Tom.
Instruction of the administration just because they're so terrible.
That's an important part, though, because there's no border enforcement money. But to nerd out a little bit, on page 753, there's $1.9 billion for non-detention border management requirements. So what is the $2 billion going for?
Well, look, it says right in the language of the bill, none of this money is to be used for border security efforts. We're in the middle of the most historic illegal immigration crisis ever. I can't believe a single Republican senator or congressman would vote for this bill. I mean, they all go down the southwest border and they do their hit saying what a terrible crisis we have. It's a national security crisis. When it comes down to making a difference, they voted for a bill that gave nothing to it. So this bill does nothing. It lets Border Patrol hire up to 300 agents, but Border Patrol can't hire as it is. I mean, Border Patrol missed the hiring point last year because no one wants the job because they've been thrown under the bus by the administration. They're working 24/7. They can't do the job they were hired to do. They violated the oath they took because they're not allowed to enforce the law. So Border Patrol's having a hard time hiring it to begin with. So the 300, hiring the money for 300 hires does nothing for them.
Tom, in the first 85 days of this fiscal year, which began on October 1st, there's been more than 575,000 migrant encounters, and that's with Title 42 in place. What happens? What does it look like when and if that lifts?
Look, if they lift Title 42, we already know give up to 80 to 90% of agents are off the line because you're dealing with these family groups. Therefore, if Title 42 gets lifted, that means more aliens come across the line, which means more agents get pulled off patrol, which means what? It means more fentanyl comes across the border. It's going to kill more Americans. It means more suspected terrorists can cross the border because the border is wide open and vulnerable. It means higher sex trafficking of women and children. This is catastrophic. And when they end Title 42, it's going to get worse. But hear me now, that this administration, they really want to secure the border, they could turn the Remain in Mexico program on today. You know and I know the Remain in Mexico program on the Trump administration was a game changer. So if they want to give the Border Patrol some relief, if they want to do some security in that border, restart the Remain in Mexico program. They have that option. The federal court says it's legal and they can do it.
Well, we'll see if they take your advice and if they change any policies. We learned that apparently President Biden was upset and cursing at aides when this crisis began in 2021, but yet there has been no major policy changes to get this under control. Tom Homan, as always, thank you for your insight and have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Jeff.
All right.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.